Now, we've been doing something for the past 4 months, which is an important part of the large puzzle, which is our responsibility here in the mainstream media, right here on prime time, not stop every day, every weekday at 6 o'clock, which is to get you the voices of India's wealth creators, India's entrepreneurs, people who are going out there, building businesses, building brands, leading thinkers, economists with one single logical agenda. We are all on the same boat called India. All of us need to succeed together. And how do we put that into place? Let me quickly take the opportunity of introducing our panel this evening. Sharat Sachdeva, Director of L. Caterton, joining us. Amit Bagga, CEO and co-founder of Daryaganj Hospitality. Priyank Sukhija, MD, CEO of First Fiddle Group. Sharat Batra, co-founder of Cafe Delhi Heights. And Sagar Daryani, co-founder and CEO of Wow Momo Food, joining us all on the telecast. And as always, Editor-in-Chief of Business World, Anurag Batra, is with us. Anurag ji, help us set up the conversation.
Rishabh, we moved to tech to vaccine. Now vaccine billionaires will dominate the super rich list that we do every year. But coming back to the discussion on business and economy, one of the, life is about food. Some people said you are what you have in the morning or in the evening or whenever you want to have it. Food has kept people going in the last 6 months. Restaurants, though in their physical form, kind of had to shut down because of COVID. But India's restaurateurs, through their cloud kitchens, made sure that they supplied the favorite food that Indians enjoy across the country in various cities to their homes. Today, we have a panel of India's best restaurateurs and also, an investor in the QSR ecosystem who himself was he understands this domain very well. So let me today discuss with our panelists where is the food and hospitality segment of QSR headed. Since the time of the lockdown, what is the kind of traffic and volumes they see? Where is the industry headed? What kind of support it needs? There is a second package that is coming from the government. Is there something for them in that? So let me start with Priyank Sukhija, who has set up many restaurants and is one of the foremost, QSR and F&B entrepreneurs in India. Priyank, how bad has been the loss in last 6 months? Give us a sense of numbers.
So the loss has been, I'm not in the QSR space, so I think probably somebody else will be able to tell you more about it.
Sorry, I know you're in the food and you're more in the fine dining and restaurant space.
Restaurant and bar space.
Right.
Numbers, our loss is unprecedented right now. If we are talking on pure numbers, Bangalore, our restaurants have seen a dip of about, since the time we've opened for a month, the dip is about 60%. So we are doing at a 40% of our pre-COVID times, which is the best case in India so far for us. Lucknow, Kanpur are not even 10-15%. Delhi is at about a 20 to 25%, depending on where in Delhi is of our pre-COVID times. And Bombay is yet to start. We just got the news that Mumbai has allowed restaurants. Till now, we weren't even able to operate. So that is going to start in the first week of October. We got the news today only. So things have been really bad. We were shut down for 4 to 5 months. Delhi allowed us serving liquor on the 9th of September. We couldn't even serve it for the entire month. But things, I hope that with the numbers going down in Delhi, which they have started to show a positive sign again, things will get better, but not in the near future.
And Priyank, what kind of support you need from the government? In the first package, there wasn't anything for the hotel industry. There was nothing for the F&B industry. Both are very big employers, apart from the capital invested in these businesses.
We employ 7 million people. We contribute to more than 2% of the GDP of the country as a sector. First of all, to start with, we should have a ministry of our own. There are more than 150 ministries. There is industry was facing before COVID. The biggest struggle being we are the only industry in the country which does not get an input tax credit. That means that means that whatever we pay our rentals or whatever services we do not get tax credit back on that. That's been, especially for the organized restaurant industry, it's a very big setback. Not giving an input tax credit might, encourage some of the smaller players to not be organized or not be fully organized. That government will actually lose more money. So that is one thing to start with. Then, now this is before we were struggling with this before the COVID earlier. Now with COVID and us being one of the hardest hitting industries, there has not been any mention of this industry by the that our finance minister for 5 days was spreading 20,000 crore rupees was spending, but there was 500 crore rupees given to the beekeeping industry. Our industry was not even mentioned. An industry which employs 7 million people. We are much bigger as an industry. We are, I think, at least 25 times bigger than the Bollywood industry. You spend 25 times more money on food when or you spend on your movies and Netflix put together. So that is more than 25 actually.
And
so this is something we are right now very heartbroken. We feel that we are in the wrong kind of industry to begin with.
Okay, Priyank, you're in the right industry. You created landmarks and icons where people enjoy. I want to ask, what is the shift in the business model? Is the cloud kitchen model of the restaurant on a cloud? Is it because the experience is not there in that, right? Is that a sustainable business model, or we are doing it out of compulsion because we don't have a choice?
For cloud kitchens, I think Sagar or Sharad.
But what's your view? You're about experience.
Yeah. So no,
Sagar is of course very.
I won't be able to say anything about the cloud kitchen space because I'm not into that space right now. But yes, people. I think what I hear from all my friends that deliveries have the delivery business has gone up many folds. Probably Sagar or Sharad can actually tell you more about
the business. Sharad, you're an inside-outside person. While you are...
Which Sharad is this?
Yeah.
This is Sharad Satdeva, of course. That's why I said inside out. Because you're an insider who's yet an outsider. You're an investor in this ecosystem. So tell us, what can the government do to help this industry? And what is the pivot you think these entrepreneurs need to make? I'd like an overall commentary on what's happening to the F&B retailing space.
I think, as Priyank said, and I think everybody would say the same thing, and I would speak more of as a restaurateur rather than an investor or part of the investment company. It is without a doubt that a lot of restaurateurs who really worked hard and put in their hard-earned money and their sweat and blood and whatnot are on the wrong side of business, or they somewhere feel they are shortchanged and the government is not, seen towards them while they contribute by various means of employment or tax or entertainment or foreign exchange. They're not being given the due, and somewhere you feel you being cheated, if that's the right word. So I also understand that government on the other side has also to see and balance it out how they distribute it. I have yet to hear and understand and listen from anybody as to if they've really got a severance package or if they've really gotten the real money into their account by way of loans or severance or whatever you may want to call it. Coming back to the industry is really reeling under a lot of pressure. A lot of people are, leaving jobs. A lot of people are losing jobs. A lot of people are asked to go without any fault. And I would not blame any restaurateur or any owner or restaurant chain for this. The situation is such that most of these restaurateurs that I know, I can name 10 of them right now. Some of them are on the panel. They're all very passionate people. And I know everybody that they won't, if they have the right wherewithal, will not let anybody leave their company. They will accommodate, they will pay them, even if they cannot. They will somehow make it for their employees. As Priyank said that we are 25 times maybe more than Bollywood. We employ 7 million people, maybe more. The food report that NRAI did has a lot of data in it, and it all speaks that how much contribution we do in the industry. So there's nothing that I can speak from the investment side, because investment is a very opportunity based or driven business, and so I would reserve my comment there on
And
that
Sharad,
side.
what I want to know from you is, see, what do you think? They say the tough get going when the going gets tough. Clearly, the restaurateurs are the tough ones. So, what do you think they can do to optimize within the constraints that we are operating in right now?
Right now, basically, whatever they are doing, they are sustaining themselves. They are still, I see a lot of Instagram posts from Priyank, from Riaz, from a lot of other restaurateurs. And I see that, they're really still with a lot of juice left in them to come back and do something creative, to do something, innovative for the patrons, for the guests. And I don't know how much money they have in their kitty to do all of this, because I can totally understand their P&L, and I can totally understand what money is left after so much of time gone and without zero revenue. So I think the juice is still there, and these people will come back without a doubt, and they're really tough, irrespective of the tough goings around. I have seen them coming back. I've now associated with this industry for almost 8 years, maybe 8.5, 9 years, and I see them coming back time and again. And this time they will come back even stronger. And I'm not saying just for the sake of it. I know these people, and they have, more than anything else, they have the will. So when there is a will, there is always a way, and they will make their way into. And people are also actually waiting and watching. They're now getting used to with this new normal, and they are going. I have been to a couple of places, and I've spoken to a couple of people that I want to go out and I want to have a drink outside. And I have seen people are really enjoying, but it's just that the government wants to, run these places in a certain fashion, which is
And
not.
there is a fear factor amongst people.
I don't see that fear too much. I think it is more talked about fear. There is no fear. I don't see any fear. It's more of a कि आप नहीं जा रहे, अच्छा मैं भी नहीं जाऊंगा. ओह आप नहीं कर रहे, अच्छा चलो मैं भी नहीं जाता. So it's more of a hearsay. कहते हैं ना भेड़ चाल में चल रहे हैं. There is no fear. I don't see any fear. I don't see any fear. So I think things are going to get normal very soon, and things are going to come back to better than before. I am very sure. And things are
That's a
getting
very
better
good
in
note to
Europe.
bring it.
Things are getting better in China. Things are getting better in Europe. Things are going to get better in India. And I must tell these people, hang in there, hold on. Things are going to be far better.
This shall too pass.
It's almost past. I think the mood is still somber. People are more afraid because they don't want to be seen partying. They don't want to, but they all want to. So I think things are going to come back. And touching upon slightly on the cloud kitchen, I think it's a passing phase. They've all the F&B will always adapt into a newer situation. So I think cloud kitchen is an answer to a passing phase, while a normal F&B business, nothing like it, and it will come back. You can't run cloud kitchens for liquor-based concepts. You can't run cloud kitchens for a lot of other concepts, which is around F&B. So I think it's just a passing phase. We'll have to wait and watch how cloud kitchen reacts. I will reserve my comments on the success of cloud kitchen in the longer run. But over to you.
Thank you so much, Sharad, for being the optimist and giving all the stakeholders in this ecosystem hope. But let me bring in Amit. Amit, you with your two co-founders started the Daryagan chain of restaurants, which are the pioneers of butter chicken and dal makhani. I remember you telling me a couple of weeks back that while the restaurants have opened, you also started a, ready to eat food line, which can be kind of ordered, same dal makhani and butter chicken can be ordered in the convenience of your dining room. So tell us, what is the pivot you're taking at Daryagan, and how does it augur well for this industry?
So, I mean, it's been a quite roller coaster ride, because when the lockdown happened, after that everyone was no one knew what's going to happen in the next few months. And we were all just guessing, this will happen, that will happen. In that time, people were very, very scared of ordering any delivery. I mean, this delivery was not even 10-20% of pre-COVID times when the lockdown happened, even in spite of a lot of restaurants still being open. And that time we saw, obviously, dine-in is shut, delivery is 10-20%. What else do we do to, get ourselves going? So we worked on we did a lot of R&D, we developed, ready-to-eat products. But as we were developing it, within a few months, we suddenly saw that delivery is back to, picking up again. And then we had to, because of the uncertain times, we had to immediately change our plan and go back into delivery. So now we have, started delivery 2 months back. And as far as the ready-to-eat products are concerned, we are going to be launching them as soon as well. But we are now immediately more focused on delivery, as that's already now at 70 to 80% of pre-COVID times. Delivery is almost there, And also what has happened, the big change has happened. That, like you said, cloud kitchens. So the brands which had been existing before pre-COVID, which didn't have any physical outlets, they in fact have not gained, they have lost, because now the good outlets and the good brands like us are delivering. So people want to trust more of the brands which are already physically being present and not being just running out of a cloud kitchen, but they trust those brands more. It's now more about trust and who's following all the most safety norms. People are going to don't care about price. Average order value of all the delivery orders have gone up by 30%. So you see the order values are going up. But the thing is, people are ordering more because they're more with their home, with their families, they're ordering more. And also WHO has just recently announced that packaged food has no risk at all of COVID, which has really helped us as an industry now. And we just hope the same way like delivery has recovered, hopefully dine-in will also recover, because dine-in is something, going out and eating is a social need. We cannot take that away. We all have been sitting at home and locked in, but we cannot wait to get out and meet our friends and go have a drink and have food together with our families.
So much, Amit, for giving us that good news that delivery is back to 70-80% of its pre-COVID levels. Also, as you rightly say, dining is not just about food, it's a social experience. And people in the last 6 months have been craving for this social experience. So hopefully Priyank and Amit and Sharad Batra, the next few months will see reverse buying. There is a revenge for, people will compensate for the time they haven't been able to come out and dine. So possibly they'll come out and dine even more as the numbers come down. The numbers have started to come down in Delhi, not everywhere else. I hope everywhere else also they come down. But let me bring in Sharad Batra. Sharad, you are the co-founder of Cafe Delhi Heights, and I've dined there. Very nice food you do.
I'm so glad.
Tell us, where is the amount of business since it has reopened? In Delhi, 9 September, is it when you were allowed to open?
9 September was the date for the alcohol being allowed to serve, but we opened on 8th of June as such. So it has been progressive, it has been very positive from week to week basis. The things are growing in a very, very positive manner, and I must appreciate the people of Delhi. They have shown the courage and that kind of, they've been very bold and nice, and they've been taking a lot of precautions, and people are making a balance out of it. In fact, at the end of the day, we have to live this with COVID for how long, we have no clue about this. Maybe a few more months, maybe 6 months, we do not know. So it becomes a part of our lifestyle. Having said that, the business is growing, but we still need to go a lot further to make our ends meet. At the end of the day, government has to come in and support. The landlords have been very helpful in a lot of locations. In few locations they have not been, but a lot of locations has been the landlords have been very helpful. And we have to understand one point is for sure is, however, how much may I say or Priyank say or you say everything to the people around us, at the end of the day, the government has to show more positive signs for people to understand that things are improving and giving them the confidence for going out. You can see in a lot of other countries, in fact, the government is taking a lot of initiatives of making this industry survive. We can only be limited to the certain situations within ourselves or limited to the locations we are by making those precautions within our restaurants or the malls, XYZ. But at the end of the day, when the government takes bigger initiative of making people believe that how safe it would be for them to go out and spend money so that economy keeps running. We just can't sit at home and do everything and expect the economy to run. So like for UK, they came out with a scheme of Eat Out to Help Out. That's a great initiative by the government, what they did. A lot of other countries like US also, they had this agenda of passing on money in everybody's account and specifically mentioning them that they must order out or eat out once a week so that they're also helping out, because our industry is one of the industry which involves a lot of manpower and a lot of vendors. I mean, the list of the vendors is huge. So the money which is pumped into our industry changes at least 100 different hands at the end of the day. This is going to be one of the greatest way of helping all other industries like agriculture also, because we buy so much of raw material, we consume power, we consume water, the utilities.
Understood.
Everything.
Sharad, what I want to know from you, if I talk to you in December, do you see your industry coming back to say 100%? Because there is IPL happening. If IPL had happened earlier, people would have sat in bars and restaurants and watched it. Now they're doing it within their homes. So are they ordering from their favorite restaurants? Do you see in December, post Diwali, we being 100%?
It is again very subjective. Honestly speaking, one sad news, one bad news take the sentiments down for the people, and we see the direct impact on the footfalls what we have in the restaurant. And when no sad or bad news comes for continuously 1 week, we see the rise of people coming into our restaurants. It's it's very common. I mean, we take examples of our own houses. If you come to know anybody in your close circle gets COVID positive, you start taking precautions again. After 10 days, you start realizing it's a part of life, and then you start again going out or maybe to the office. But December, see, one thing you have to understand, by the current SOPs, what we want to follow and we would wish to follow unless all this thing is over, that our restaurants are working at 50% capacity. So any which ways our 50% sales are down no matter what, doing nothing, because our capacities are down. All other expenses remain the same. My electricity bills remain the same, my common area maintenance costs remain the same, my staffing costs have taken a little cut of maybe 20-25%, but everything else remains the same. So how do you expect that December will be the best? But not, I'm very positive. We all are who are sitting here right now are very positive. That's why we have started operations of our restaurant in anticipation that things are going to get better. There cannot be much more optimism out of this whole scenario that we are running restaurants already. We are not shut down. So for us, at a certain stage, if our restaurant was shut, we were not doing that much losses initially when we started our operation, and we made more losses. But optimism, being positive that things are going to get better. And as the graph is going higher and higher every day on the week-on-week basis, I think December is going to be very, very fruitful for us.
Sagar, let me get you in. You had a very large footprint before COVID came on. You were in a bullish mode, raising capital, launching new stores, launching new cities, launching new product lines. And post-COVID, you pivoted. You also did cloud kitchens. Tell us, where is your business today? We are 6.5 months into COVID. We are 2 months into lockdown being lifted. Where is your business now, and where do you see it in the next 2-3 months?
See, firstly, I completely echo what Priyank had to say. Our industry has always got stepmotherly treatment. And, it's a normal norm that, getting a gun in the country or owning a gun is cheaper than, more easier than, starting up a restaurant. We require some 32+ licenses. And yes, we do require industry status. I think the industry, the SME industry employs so many people. And I'm privileged to be in this industry. I wouldn't say that, we're in the wrong industry. I'm proud to be in this industry. I think that what COVID has done is, adverse time calls for being diverse. I think it made us look at our business in a very different way. I think all our business models have been tweaked. And if our business model is tweaked, then the business model of landlords will have to tweak, the consumer habits get tweaked. So honestly, if you'd ask me, today we are sitting at 60% of pre-COVID numbers. Out of our 350 stores, almost 270 stores are already operational. Stores in airports, stores in railway stations, tech parks are still shut. And it's going to take some time for the business to get back. But the best part is for us, because even the QSR business, right? the delivery business is back to 150% of every number. So that's a very encouraging sign, And it says that the consumer wants your product. The pattern of delivery or the mode of delivery of getting your product has changed. Earlier, they would come to your store. Now, I think they are getting it delivered to their homes. Another new trend that we're seeing, if you can see, I'm sitting in my car, I'm seeing a lot of people coming down to the restaurants and doing a pre-order takeaway and sitting in their own vehicles and having the momos, So pre-order takeaway is a new trend that's coming in, and people are confined to their own vehicles and having it outside the stores. So this is a new trend that we are seeing that's coming in. But honestly, for us, I think it was all about tweaking the business model. We haven't stopped expansion. We've opened 14 new Momo outlets. We've opened Wow China outlets. We've tied up, collaborated with Cafe Coffee Day in a very smart manner. We've been capital efficient, gone about our growth. I think cash is the key. We need to all conserve cash. At the same time, we've also shut down 30 plus stores. It's been tough on us. I think we had 3,000 employees. We had to send 500 employees on leave without pay for the first week of September. For 5 months, we paid salary without stores being open, but then, we could not afford it. So, 2020 April, for the first time, in 11 years, I could see losses. And the losses continue to mount for 6 months now. And I don't think it's going to be profitable before December or maybe even March. But yeah, I think when the going gets tough, the tough get going. I think we've all tweaked our business model. I'm not a very big fan of cloud kitchens. Honestly, we haven't opened too many cloud kitchens. We've opened more of smaller outlets that can do takeaway delivery. But I am someone who believes in jo dikhta hai wo bikhta hai. I mean, today, honestly, I've always believed in transparency. And now with COVID times coming in, people are more focused on health and hygiene. They want more transparency. Now today, if I have to order pizzas, I'd rather order from Domino's because it's a trusted brand for me. But I will not go and order from some Uncle Jam's or some other pizza place because I don't know how the hygiene levels are. So cloud kitchen.
Batra pizza won't sell. Batra pizza won't sell. Clearly, I shouldn't start a pizza.
Batra will not sell because I don't know.
No reflection on you, Sharad.
I mean, Batra. The Batra News Network, the Batra business world always tells because people have seen it. People have seen you come out there and deliver and give those power packs.
But I get your point. There's a synchronicity between what Amit said and what Sharad said and what you are saying. The brands in the food business, which are visible, which have physical stores, also have more takeaways, are more tasty because they were visited more pre-COVID, so people are
so there is a brand value, and who knows, maybe we need to be making Batra pizza on tomorrow's episode. Priyank Sukija, tell us, for people watching this broadcast, tell us, a bit about First Fiddle. How many restaurants are you guys running? And let's take it a bit forward in a practical way of what help is now required.
First Fiddle is basically running 33 restaurants right now across. I mean, not running all 33 because some states are still. Maharashtra is still not open yet, but yeah, pre-COVID we were running 33 restaurants. We own a lot of brands like Lord of the Drinks, Plum, Dragonfly, Flying Saucer Cafe, Warehouse, Open House, Teddy Boy, Diablo. We are basically into the experience dining and premium bar segment. That is what we First Fiddle does. And out of the F&B segment, right now, this is the segment which has been hit the most. I mean, I'm glad to know, and I'm very proud that Sagar is actually expanding during this lockdown also. But for First Fiddle, the kind of outlets, what we do, our basic product is not...
Is people coming down. Okay, I want to come and discuss exactly now what needs to get done in a very practical fashion. But just quickly, let's listen for Amit also. Amit, for an introduction for people... being introduced to Daryaganj Hospitality, help us out. What do you guys do?
Yes. So we have a brand called Daryaganj by the inventors of butter chicken and dal makhani. And so the concept, my partner and my friend Raghav Jaggi, his grandfather, Mr. Kundanal Jaggi, was the one who invented butter chicken and dal makhani in 1947. So we actually have, come back and recreated all these recipes and giving people a taste of 1947, giving them a taste of nostalgia. And that's our brand all about. Our brand is all about getting back to the classics, getting back to the real North Indian food, and we are focused on a family clientele, and we are so we're trying to revive that old taste of North Indian food, which was kind of lost.
Okay, so most people in Delhi would know that, but I'm guessing people across the country have had a chance to hear that. Sagar Daryani, now we know that you're opening in 14 locations, closing in 30 others. Tell us the story about Wow Momos, please.
Well, it's been a 12-year journey. We began with rupees 30,000, bootstrap, cloud-backed profits. Pre-COVID, we had 340 plus stores. And suddenly, come the April 2020, when we see losses for the first time and losses keep mounting for the last 6 months, I had 3,000 employees, had to let go of 500, unfortunately. So that was very emotional. It was very draining, to be honest. But yeah, I think it's about bouncing back now. We started expanding again. We've already opened some 18 outlets, 14 for Wow Momo. We have another brand called Wow China. We've opened 4 outlets of that. Plus, I think the way forward is about collaboration. We've collaborated with Cafe Coffee Day and we're opening shop-in-shop formats inside that. At the same time, sometime in the month of November, we're launching packaged momos. So we're also getting into FMCG like Amit. It's all about do it yourself, eating at home, because we feel that, the work from home is going to...
No, explain that. Explain that. Packaged momos means what? I order it, I can store it and I can reheat it. What do I do?
So no, what you can do is if you go to a DMart or a Big Bazaar or a Spencer's or you shop at Amazon or Big Basket, you can actually order momos with a larger shelf life. You can have it at your convenience.
Okay. And how do we order? How does one order right now? Are you guys on aggregators? Do you have your own portal?
Launching this next month. Currently it's all about aggregators, because currently the Wow Momo QSR business is all about aggregators. I think we are...
Yeah, I know you guys have strong opinions on the aggregators also, which is important in a very difficult time. Yeah.
With them, we need to live with them. At the same time, we cannot be
completely dependent on them. Okay, all right. Let me come and discuss that in just a minute. Yeah, let us quickly get in.
Part of the NRI.
Okay, Sharad Batra, tell us a bit. Okay, just stay with me, Sagar. Sharad Batra, tell us a bit about Cafe Delhi Heights. When do you guys start?
Yeah, so our journey started 9 years ago, though we were in the food industry from last 30 years, started by our parents, but me and my brother, we diversified into restaurants 9 years back when Cafe Delhi Heights was born. And we had a sole focus of occupying a very unique space in the market, which is a multi-cuisine cafe. So from bread pakoda to a laksa to salmon, so you can have anything and everything and have the taste of the street food at the most hygienic manner. So, and you can actually come 7 days in a week to our place to have something or the other, maybe from a coffee to a bread basket and a lunch and a dinner.
Okay.
So this is what our dream was, having the 3 generations sit together and eat food, because that was the biggest challenge for every house, that my parents would want to eat certain kind of food and my children would want to eat other kind of food. So we are very okay with eating anything.
Okay, so that's the model. Sharad Sachdeva, tell us a bit about El Caterton.
Well, Capitan is one of the largest consumer-focused funds in the world, and they're basically investing in companies which are consumer-facing. A lot of brands like Charles & Keith. In India, we invested in Central, now Geo Platform, and Impresario is one of our investee companies. Outside of India, we own brands like Celavi, Jones the Grocer, Owndays, Crystal J, so on and so forth. At one point in time, we also were owning brands like P.F. Chang's in the US. So that's about it. And
okay, yeah, big international brands. Okay, now let's look at some practical things. Priyank Sukija, what are the practical things that we need to address? Now, when we were having conversations with F&B players, restaurateurs such as yourself, at the very beginning of the lockdown, we were discussing things like, license fees, block electricity charges, rentals. Has that conversation now changed? What has happened? What now needs to happen? Priyank?
So the things we need to address right now are pertaining to this lockdown. We do expect the government to give us some kind of, because so many people have been left without job. So it would be great if the government can actually give some kind of a pay to our employees. The ESIC as a huge corpus. We have been told to use our PF, but there is some 95,000 crore rupees sitting in ESIC that could be moved to use the employees. That is a lot of people which have been left unemployed. To help us get the employment better.
Are you guys getting access to funds? Because obviously the bottom line is taking more loans is not the solution, right? You guys will be trapped in debt in 6 months otherwise. Okay, but do you have access? Are you getting access to funds, especially well-established players like yourself?
No. Right now we are not getting any access to funds. If we go to a bank, as soon as they also MSMEs for us, you were supposed to get a 20% more on your debt line if you have a existing debt line.
Correct.
We did not have any debt. So even if we qualify under an MSME, we don't have a debt. So we can't get a 20%.
So basically, you're going to, it doesn't make a difference how big you are. As soon as the bank says restaurant business, they're saying, no, no, we don't want.
You say restaurants, banks don't even want to talk to you, not even NBFCs. They don't want to talk to you.
Okay, so your priority is that you need help in paying out salaries of people who are either on leave without pay or people whose salary burden you've been carrying for 4 or 5 months with almost negligible revenues. Okay, that's priority number one. Amit Bagga.
More important than that,
go ahead,
we need
finish.
policy help. Policy help is very important.
Explain.
We need at least our input tax credit on GST. That is the most important issue, which is a burning issue right now, which we were struggling for before this. Why being in our industry, we are not supposed to, we are the only industry which is not getting that. That policy is actually helping the non-organized sector more.
Okay, what is the issue that you feel that this is becoming contentious and hasn't happened on the input tax credit, Priyank?
So what does happen is every industry does get a tax credit back. We were earlier at an 18% slab, and especially for people who are paying higher rentals or paying that there is a GST on everything, on the rentals, on the services that we pay. Since we do not get the input tax credit back, our cost goes high.
Okay.
Now, visually that looks very
if you got it, how
interesting
much could you save? 7, 8%, 10%, 9%?
It is 5% without input tax credit.
Okay, you could potentially.
We have been going to the GST Council every I think since the last 2 years. This happened in 2018.
Okay, all right, okay. Now the practicality is the money saved there can at least go on salaries. So there are practical things. Amit Bagga, help us understand what are the immediate priorities. So we have a policy decision on GST, priority on still paying salaries for people who can no longer, as Sagar was pointing out, they have paid the salaries for 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. After a point is not viable. What is your priority list?
Yes, I think what Priyank said, that is, I totally agree with that. That is a number one priority to get the input tax credit, because that's a direct saving which we get, and we can put it into getting more people back in our company, and even so that really helps us to get generate more employment for our staff. We have been kind with because most of our landlords have agreed to give us a revenue share model.
Okay.
We had to cut down our fixed expenses. So we got a revenue share model from the landlords. Our other variable expenses are there, but the main fixed expense was the salaries, and we had no choice to at least reduce some of that cost. And we would, and that was not something which we wanted to do, but we would, because there was no business coming in, so we had to do that. But yes, if we can get some kind of support for that from the government,
Okay.
And it could be indirect support also, like a GST input will immediately we can pass on the benefit to the employees.
Okay. Globally, the model has been that in some cases, business funds, not loans, direct injections have been given to companies so that they can pay employees. In other places, they've been given with the rider that if you pay it to your employees, if you use these funds to pay staff, then it becomes a grant automatically. In other places, of course, checks have been sent to people. There's a concept of, unemployment, which is what ESIC is supposed to be about, which perhaps needs to be invoked. We've had these conversations for several months, but nothing has happened on that front for some particular reason. Sagar Daryani, help us understand what would be a priority list which would actually help, practically help you guys keep more people involved as you get back on track.
See, I think for all of us, our priorities are employees, our team members, and we need to save jobs. Like you rightly said, we contribute a major chunk to the ESIC. And I think now is the time when, you need to have an unemployment prevention fund, and the government needs to chip in. I mean, like Priyank earlier mentioned, there was benefits given to every industry, and our industry, the SME industry, was not even mentioned, and there was nothing provided to us. It was, honestly, it makes us feel that, we are maybe doing the right thing at the wrong time. But honestly, it is very demotivating. But, I would like to use this platform of NewsX to actually go out and say that, GST input is something that the government can give us, very logical. I don't know why they don't seem to understand the math and the kind of overhead we bear. And immediate benefit of this will just be passed on to the employees and help us to save more and more jobs.
Okay. Sharad Batra, same thought to you. Practical things that can be done.
So if I have to put them in chronology, as Priyank said, the GST input and the employees, obviously, and then the only another thing I can think of is that government has to put in money in people's pocket so that they can go out and they can spend on their necessities. The money has to rotate. Unless the money rotates and changes hands, it is not going to come and revive the economy. So they have to put money in people's pockets.
Do you still think it's more about demand even in an F&B sector? Which is, I know you can choose to eat at home, but eventually eating is not really discretionary.
So if you really see, there is no other entertainment. So food is being the only entertainment and necessity. So it ticks all the boxes for people to go out and spend. It is the one thing which distresses you. It takes the problems of the daily thing out from your head. I mean, this is the way you unwind right now. Okay. You have no other entertainment.
Okay, Saras Sachdeva, how are you approaching, sir, thinking about this industry? Is it about wait and watch till we have vaccine, until then nothing can be done? Or even now, are there opportunities available? And what is the risk, sir? What is the risk to several entrepreneurs who, simply won't be able to survive another few months? Just unmute yourself, sir, please.
I think first and foremost is that, government can devise a loan mechanism, which should, needless to say, it should be without interest and should be acted like a severance to the restaurateurs. And there can be criteria as to how these loans can be sanctioned and given. And at the right time, maybe after 3 years, when things are back to normal and restaurateurs are making the money, that money can come back to them, to the government. That can be one of the things. And you see, definitely considering tourism and F&B, which is also part of tourism in some ways, bears the brunt of such things. When SARS happened, when ash clouds happened, travel was stopped, and there was a huge problem in tourism sector. Similarly now, airlines and hotel industry and F&B, everything is on the forefront, and they are the first ones and the most, the most affected, I would say, industry. I think from an investor viewpoint, it becomes slightly challenging to consider and go into the industry and invest into an industry which is very vulnerable. And this is a very practical thing to say. While I would say, and I've seen in my, again, as I said earlier, this is a bunch of passionate people, and they know how to come out of these, extraordinary, or as I should mention, that it's not very good times to come out.
Right.
I mean, they will come out, and it is the right thing. When an investor looks into a company, they don't only see that the company is good or the people are good. They see that the model is good. They see that the people they are going to be giving the money are going to use the money in the right direction, and eventually the industry is right. So it's a
okay. So let me get Anurag into this conversation on that thought for a viewpoint rather than a question per se. Anurag Batra, I know obviously we're not waiting till the next budget in February next year for the next round of government intervention. To the best of our knowledge, after the parliament session closes, more is expected. But the first tranche was, broadside firing, covering everything at the same time, no options. Now that things have been open, the second priority, of course, was to get things as normal as possible given the circumstances, because you can't keep giving money if anyway there is nothing functioning. What should the third tranche be looking like? What priority areas? Can we be more specific, industry specific, region specific? What do we do next?
See, what my understanding from the sources is that a new package is around the corner. It is designed to uplift the mood. It is designed to address the festive season. And more importantly, it is sectoral in nature. So I think in the next few months, as the healthcare crisis comes down, I hope it comes down, as numbers come down, the focus on business becomes better. Because in some businesses, government doesn't want people to go out and do a lot. It actually wants people to stay in and do as less as possible and essential. Now the government sees the restaurant sector as an activity that is not necessary, that is not essential that's how the government views it. So clearly, I think it will be a sectoral response. Almost all sectors, especially sectors that either have huge tax impact and also employment impact, will be addressed.
And I think this is where
the package is a couple of days around the corner, and it will be a sectoral package.
Okay, and this is the employment impact, which is of course the argument that every single person here on the panel has made, that this is an employment impact as much as anything, because of the sheer number of people involved in F&B space, tourism space. We're talking about one of the largest employers in the country. You have a sampling of 5 or 6 people. Of course, there are thousands of people who run restaurants across the country. Okay, before I hand back quickly to you, Anurag, for a last rapid fire. Priyank Sukhija, in a very practical sense, how have things changed in the past 6 months? Have we become more desperate? Have things piled up to become more untenable, or have they improved slightly where you see a light at the end of the tunnel now?
See, I'm very sure there is light at the end of the tunnel. Being in the industry, and we've always been, going from pillar to post with the government for our policies. That thing has made us warriors, and we will survive this. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know when. Things are getting slowly, gradually better. People are, we are all social beings as human beings.
Yeah.
We need to get out. Delivery is doing great right now. Cloud kitchens are doing great right now, but nothing can replace the experience of getting out. So
yeah, we all need it. I think psychologically we all need an evening out. Amit Bagga,
Yeah.
but the question I'm trying to put across is that at the very beginning, 6 months ago, when the environment was far more uncertain now than what we are now, there's a little bit of certainty creeping back in. There's a little bit of opening up happening. Are you guys in a better position, or is it because you have to bear losses for 6 months, you're actually in a worse position now than you were 6 months ago?
Honestly, as you can see, we all are looking positive. Yes, things are getting better. And 6 months back, I didn't know where we are heading to, because we had so much responsibilities to take care of. But like I said, things changed. The major expenses for us were the rental, which was waived off by most of our landlords, and that really gave us that confidence to open our restaurants back again. And when we opened them, we started we were prepared that we might have to go through a lot of operational losses, because the idea was to survive for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, in our restaurant, when we opened up, the kind of response I've got, I didn't really expect that I'm get this kind of a response. It is making us feel positive, and we know that it's just going to be a matter of time. 3 months, 6 months, things are going to be back to normal.
Okay.
And
Okay. So not worse
back.
than 6 months, but intervention required. Anurag Batra, we got about 5 minutes, sir. Take it away.
At the end of the show, we always do this. I want to ask you 2 questions to all of you, and I want specific answers and honest ones at that, even it means going against the grain. The 2 questions are: one, see, you cannot separate the restaurant business from the economy, from the sentiment, from the crisis. So when do you see the Indian economy coming back in full bloom? 6 months, 12 months, or 18 months? Second, what is your one top lockdown lesson as an entrepreneur? Something that has changed your entrepreneurial wiring. So let me start with Amit Bagga. When do you see the Indian economy coming back?
9 months from now. I would see 9 months from now.
You think it will be reborn? That's why 9 months. Okay.
And yes, it's going to be 9 months at least. That's a rebirth for all of us. Going to be a rebirth for all of us.
What is your top lockdown lesson?
Well, I learned a lot about technology, because technology was brought. We all were surviving because of technology. Today we are talking on Zoom, and this all because of technology. So technology we cannot ignore. We have to look at technology as a future. Every company has to become a technology company, and then also be a restaurant company together. That's what my biggest learning has been. I'm totally moving towards technology wherever I can in my business.
Okay, Sagar Devani, what's your view on when the economy will be back?
I think for the QSR, it's going to be around 6 months. For the casual dine and the fine dines, around 9 to 12 months. I think they are with more burden to go out, because in a place like Bombay, we still don't have dining allowed. So it's going to be tough. It's going to take its time, but I'm sure we're going to bounce back. Secondly, what I've learned is definitely I've learned to drive. You can see me in the driver's seat right now. I've learned to drive with the lockdown, but more importantly, I always knew that we were being startups in India. You have to be agile. But this lockdown taught me the necessity of being agile, of of diversifying. And I think there's so much more that, we feel we can do that we had not done. So I think we were all running a rat race. This lockdown gave us a breather to rethink, to introspect. And I think now it's not only about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward and not just follow the chase, but go and create your own fairy tale in whatever toughest manner. Because as entrepreneurs, and in the industry that we are in, it's always been hard on us, but I think we have champions like Priyank, champions like, Riaz, whom we all look up to. And I think it's about bouncing back, and I'm sure we will get there. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, we shall overcome.
Thank you. Sharad Batra?
I wish I could say 1 month of turnaround, but it's not looking at like that. So I think 9 to 12 months, of course. And
what's your top lockdown lesson?
My top lockdown lesson is very simple. Has to make work work and your life balance in a way so that you're happy, and whatever you're doing, you just be happy about it.
I have a different view on that. I think if you love what you do,
Yeah.
Anyway, you're happy.
Yes.
And
Work-life
of course,
balance.
we all have families.
This
We
is
got to give more
what I've
time to
done.
our families.
Yes.
That I buy, and we have given more time.
Yes.
Thanks to COVID. Sharad Sachdeva, when do you think the economy will come back? And you have a little larger view because of where you are. So give us that input.
I think there is no single answer to the entire F&B industry, as QSR is different and delivery business is totally different. Cloud is again very different. Fine dining or casual dining is again different, and then concepts like what Priyank does has a different audience. So there is an array of time to everything, and I think things should come back once there is a positive news around the vaccine, because I see the only thing which people are because of which people are being held up back into their houses is because of the fear, and this fear is going to be taken away if they announce something towards the coming of the vaccine. Irrespective of the distribution will take time, or it will be like going to be coming in after some time. But I think once the announcement of the vaccine comes out, a lot of businesses are going to come out, and people will start going out, and therefore the business will start coming back to normal. F&B per se will, again, as I said, is an area of business within F&B. So a QSR might take 4 to 5 months, maybe 6. December might be an exceptional case for all the concepts that we have in F&B. Then going to a casual dine and fine dining will another 9 months maybe, and even the bars and all will come in about 8 to 9 months.
Well, I think in the interim,
what's your top lockdown lesson?
I think we should save if we are in the right, make hay while the sun shines. So we should save as a company, as an entrepreneur, as an individual. We should save, because you never know when you're going to be hit with another something like this, So you should save money.
I hope
and
not.
You should save money for your employees. You should save money for your family. You should save money for your own self. So it is better lesson that I have learned, that we should save.
Even if you're earning 1% on those savings now. Okay, guys, I've totally run out of time. It's been an important conversation, because there are many things that when we were having conversations with people from this industry at the very beginning periods of the lockdown, that have become better. Some have exacerbated, but the point agendas of what needs to be taken up at policy levels have remained consistent. How to deploy the ESIC funds for people who are losing their jobs, how to apply money for salaries to one of the largest employing sectors, and getting basic things like GST input sorted out. I think that's a rough consensus here. So I'm going to thank everyone. The bottom line logic here, of course, being that as we all of us look ahead, here's an opportunity for you guys to order some butter chicken or dal makhani if you're in Delhi. Check out some of the places that Priyank has managed to reopen. All of them, of course, in all parts of the country will not be open, but of the brands that he's mentioned. Check out Wow Momos, and they'll soon be available as a I don't know if a frozen alternative, but a longer lasting alternative. And when Cafe Delhi Heights, is it open? Cafe Delhi Heights, Sharad?
Yes, we are open in 15 different locations.
Okay, open in 15 different places. So go and check out Cafe Delhi Heights. And if you want to know what the larger industry is doing, keep a track on where Sharad Sachdeva is investing his money.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.